Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Amy from Neurotic Mom Bakes, and in today's video I am showing you another doctored cake mix. I get a lot of demand for these, and a lot of you have suggested doing a red velvet one. So I thought let's do that today. I have a red velvet cake already from scratch that's already posted if you want to go look that up. And they both have their pros and cons, and they're both probably giving a try. I already posted my almond cream cheese buttercream if you want to look at that, because that pairs absolutely perfectly with red velvet cake in my opinion. So first things first, we're gonna get a box of red velvet cake mix. I have Duncan Hines, you can get Betty Crocker, you can get the No Name brand. This happened to be the one on sale, and that's just what I always do, I get the one on sale. So first thing I'm going to do, I thought I would show you, these recipes usually call for buttermilk, but I thought I would show you how I do it if I don't have buttermilk. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some white vinegar out. You can also use pure lemon juice. So it's usually a tablespoon per cup, and I need 2/3 of a cup. So I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons. So I put the vinegar in first, and then I'm going to pour the milk in and fill it up until it's 2/3 of a cup. And then I'm just gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes, and it's going to start to curdle, and it's just a really good substitute for buttermilk. If you didn't have vinegar or lemon juice, just milk would work fine. The buttermilk just kind of adds just a little bit richer flavor with that extra kind of sour tang. Okay, now I'm going to get 3 eggs and crack them into the bowl. I always recommend, getting your eggs to room temperature, but I've found for the box mixes, it's not absolutely necessary. They still rise quite well. Okay, now I need 1/3 of a cup of oil, vegetable or canola oil. I think this is my 1/3, yep. I know this is not a proper liquid measuring cup. I know we'll get comments, but it's just what I had that was clean, so I just grabbed it. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of, a couple teaspoons of vanilla, 2 or 3, just your preference. Then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. So notice I'm mixing all the add-ins before, I haven't used my box mix yet. Because what I want to do is I want to just make sure they're all whisked together really well before adding the cake mix. And I talked about pros and cons of, box mix versus from scratch, and it's a little bit faster, and you don't have to measure out any of your dry ingredients, so that can save some time. You also don't need a stand mixer, you can just use a bowl. And they are really, because everything is so perfectly measured out, you're pretty much guaranteed a no-fail cake layer, and they're quite tasty. However, some people just prefer the from scratch, just maybe more all-natural ingredients. Some don't like the extra preservatives in here, so it just kind of depends, your preference. If you're high altitude, add about 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. And you can see how it's starting to curdle right there. If I wasn't here on YouTube, I would let it sit for a couple more minutes, but I'm just gonna go with it for now. I'll pour that in, and I'm gonna whisk this really well. All right, now I'm gonna get my cake mix. If you feel like you need to sift the cake mix, feel free, but I just hate that extra step. And sometimes I'll find, a couple bigger pieces. I just try to break them down. It's not a big deal. I'll kind of break them down with my whisk here. So I'm going to start with the whisk, just until I get most of the dry ingredients incorporated. And because you never want to overmix cake batter, I'm just going to finish with a spatula and just gently fold the rest of it together. This is going to make about 24 cupcakes, or 3 6-inch layers or 2 8-inch layers. And I'm gonna do 2 8-inch layers today. So I'm gonna set this aside and get my pans. I like to use cooking spray. It works just fine with the box mixes. I found you don't need to use shortening and flour or parchment paper like you do sometimes from scratch. Okay, I'm just gonna divide this evenly into my pans. Okay, if you want to get a food scale out and just make sure they're exact. In fact, I might do that just because I only have 2 layers here. I want them to be pretty even. So I am gonna get my food scale out and just double check. 682, 691, that's close enough for me. I'll just get the excess off of the spoon, and we are one gram a piece. This is 1 gram apart, 695, 694. That's perfect. All right, now these will go into a 325-degree Fahrenheit or 163 Celsius oven for right around 25 minutes. Start checking around 23, 24, and you will know they're done because it no longer looks wet in the center, and you can touch it and it kind of springs back. It doesn't sink down. It'll pull away from the sides, and then the toothpick test. If it comes out clean or almost clean with just a couple crumbs, it's done. Okay, they are out of the oven. They've been out for about 10 minutes. You wanna let them cool about 10 minutes, but you don't wanna let them sit in there too long. So 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're just going to, but see how well they rose? They're so, but not too much. They're not domed, but they're not, sunk in the middle. And then I like to just turn them out upside down because this cooling rack just kind of flattens out the top even a little bit more if you don't wanna cut the top off. And then once they're out of the pan, I am going to let them cool completely before wrapping them and storing them. Okay, so that's it for the doctored red velvet cake layers. I hope you enjoyed this, and don't forget this pairs perfectly with my almond cream cheese frosting if you wanna go check that out. And if you wanna see more recipes like this one, just please subscribe to my channel. Bye.